Hey all, this is going to be short and sweet. I just wanted to sort of highlight what we're doing this week. You are going to mess around in the world of conventions and genres that have conventions. This should be familiar territory for those of you. We've talked about movies all course, and now you get to sort of talk about those categories because we really do live and die by genre conventions in many ways. Like some of us have already said, I've read it in your posts, I like action movies. Well, that comes with an expectation. Or I really prefer comedy. Those are categories that mush together these similar concepts and these similar tenets of how to shoot them, what they look like, what they sound like, and what to expect. So that's all genre stuff, and that's as old as film itself. The minute that the moving image was created, people started putting together um, expectations for certain types of stories, and it's existed in literature forever. So ultimately, we just want to do this. We want to categorize, and so this week I'm going to put you in a box. I want you to take a genre and I want you to package something that you're teaching into that box. And so the purpose of it is to give kids something that they recognize, they can engage with, and it will hopefully ignite learning and connection and an access point to the learning that you want them to have. So um, I think messing around with genre conventions is really helpful, especially since it spices up a lot of what we do. There's nothing conventional about what I'm doing right now. This is simply presenting. But if I were to frame this into an action movie of some sort, your interest would heighten, and so that's what we want to do. So there's a whole bunch of stuff to go through. I got some links to things that I want you to look at that go through genre and kind of talk about some conventions. And then you're going to take a look at a real summary of a bunch of different genres. And there are subgenres too. So it's not just genres, there are subcategories, right? I mean, we have romantic movies and we have romantic comedies, and those are definitely things that we have. So these sites kind of bring together some of those things to look at. um, I also have a couple videos that I think are kind of interesting. There's one I want you to look at. You don't have to watch the whole thing, but it's fascinating. This one in particular walks through the popularity of certain genres as they sort of exist through time. So it's a snapshot in history. It starts in 1911 and it finishes in our current day, and the it's based off of percentage of movies that were produced in that year or released in that year or month relative to that genre. So for every month from 1911 to virtually now, you can kind of see, like, out of 100 movies at this point, 20% of, if there was 100 movies produced, 20 of them would be romance, 19 would be comedy. So it's a percentage of movies, and it's not 100 movies at all times. It might be 3 movies, and so it's an average. But ultimately, this list is fascinating to see as it shifts over time. You can just see the numbers and the most popular genres switch back and forth. It's really fascinating. The last thing I want to talk about is for the production task. Really, this one's just fun. Okay, this one is really interesting, and it really boils down to this: is that if you watch my examples, they kind of do a good job of laying out what I'm looking for. And again, you're limited in resources. I understand COVID has done its duty to do that. But I'd like you to really consider having a ton of fun. Push yourself to explore a genre, doing something that your kids normally wouldn't get jazzed about. So I want this to be super fun. So anyway, like I said, you guys are doing phenomenal. I never have had a course run so smoothly, and I've never been so consistently impressed by the videos being produced. So this has been more joy than anything for me. So please know that I am impressed by how you've weathered this tough time. You've continued to teach and produce work at a high level from all of you, every single one of you. So this has been a joy. So I'm looking forward to the last 2 weeks and what you produce. And hang in there. You have all done an amazing job of balancing life during a very stressful time and produced on my watch, some of the best stuff I've ever seen. So take care, good luck, and we're almost through this.